Hello everyone. The question that I have today is that has Nnamdi Kanu been vindicated? Because it's being reported that Canadian court has declared APC and PDP as terrorist organization, and I think Bruce Fern is saying that it is Nnamdi Kanu that should be prosecuting Tinubu and not the other way around. And well, let's look at this. For me, I feel somehow about this whole Canadian, Canadian court declaring APC and PDP a terrorist organization. One is that I'm like, what audacity, because these are Nigerian parties. But at the other end is that, are they lying? Are they not truly a terrorist organization? Parties that have been in government that have killed people, opened fire on people, killed innocent citizens who were just protesting. What's the difference? During Occupy Nigeria, that was during PDP, when PDP was the ruling party. They killed protesters who just came out to protest that, oh, the price that you put was too much. During NSAS and many other times also. The other one, too many other times, protesters have been killed. But one very particular one is that, during NSAS, when citizens, youth had come out to say, look, stop killing us, protect our lives. And the next thing, soldiers were sent in, to go and kill them. So you look at this thing and be wondering, are they not right? Are they not truly terrorist organization? As another reporter has this, it says, Bruce Fern, a U.S. constitutional lawyer and counsel for Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people Biafra IPOB, said that the Canadian court's ruling shows the Nigerian government prosecution of Kanu is like Lucifer prosecuting Jesus. Fern has made the statement following a Canadian court's reported declaration of Nigeria's ruling All Progressive Congress APC and opposition People's Democratic Party PDP as terrorist organization. One thing that you understand, just to give you a bit of context, these people, I think some of their members, from what I read in the other, they try to get what do you call this thing now? What's that thing when you, oh Lord have mercy, this old age, when you go to other people's this thing, and it just came to, oh Lord have mercy, sometimes you have this thing, something, you're trying to remember something and it just enters your head and then it just goes off again. I'm sure you're going to see this video as it is. I don't have time editing this out and making it look good or like this is how it is. Not immunity, they're trying to, asylum, what is it? Yeah, they're trying to get asylum. They go over to these places when they've already caused havoc. I saw the other time when a policeman said that they were going to do something to in Nigeria. You sure Canadian they drove him back, they denied him that asylum. Come back to Nigeria that you've helped to destroy. Where are you running away to? So it was on that this thing was made. Fern made the statement following Canadian court's reported declaration of Nigeria's ruling All Progressive Congress APC and the opposition People's Democratic Party PDP as terrorist organization. As our reporters on Thursday reported that the federal court upheld a ruling declaring both PDP and APC to be engaged in conduct amounting to terrorism and subversion of democratic institutions. What is terrorism? You put terror, you kill people. That's terrorism. It's not just when it has something to do with religion or what. And that's definitely what these parties are doing. The judgment delivered on June 17, 2025 by Justice Pong T. Vigor dismissed the asylum application of Douglas Egbareva, a Nigerian national, and admitted PDP member because his party membership alone was sufficient to make him inadmissible to Canada under paragraph 34(1)(f) of the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act, IRPA. The court endorsed the Immigration Appeal Division's IAD detailed finding that both the PDP and APC had engaged in political violence, voter intimidation, ballot stuffing, and even murder to gain and maintain power, according to a court document obtained by People's Gazette. Quoting directly from the IAD's reasoning, Justice Ungo noted the conduct of individuals who are members of the PDP, which includes violence, murder, ballot stuffing, ballot box snatching, intimidation of voters, and other unlawful acts, is too widespread and persistent over too great a period of time to dissociate the leadership of the party from their action. The court further upheld the IAD's conclusion that both parties' actions fit the definition of terrorism under Canadian law, stating that the violence was designed to intimidate the public or a segment of the public for a political objective. While acknowledging that both PDP and APC have engaged in unlawful practices, the IAD found that the PDP committed the majority of the acts and benefited most from them, especially during its 16 years of power. I tell you, a lot. That's why PDP doesn't have mouth. A lot of the things that APC is doing today, they learned from a PDP and became more evil. Reacting to the Canadian court ruling, Fenn, in a post in his ex, formerly Twitter account, said the ruling has proved that if justice should prevail, Kanu should be prosecuting President Bola Tinubu, who is, by the way, not my president, and the Nigerian government, and not the government prosecuting Kanu. MNK's prosecution by APC's Tinubu is like Lucifer prosecuting Jesus for impiety. Canadian court finds APC and PDP terrorist organization. If justice prevails, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would be prosecuting Tinubu, not vice versa. But God is just, and his justice will not sleep forever. Fenn has been a vocal critic of the Nigerian government's handling of Kanu's case, accusing it of human rights abuses, illegal rendition, and violation of international law. His latest comments come amid renewed calls by IPOP supporters and rights activists for Kanu's release, argue that the trial is politically motivated. Kanu has been in custody of the Department of State Services DSS since June 2021 after his arrest in Kenya, faces multiple charges, including treasonable felony, terrorism charges. He has repeatedly denied. IPOP has maintained its demand for a referendum on Biafra's independence, while the Nigerian government insists the group's activities threaten national security. I do not see anything that threatens national security because people are asking for a referendum. There should be a referendum. Every region should be asked whether they want to be part of Nigeria. And if there's any region that does not want to be part of Nigeria, it's okay to allow that region to go its own way. Holding them hostage, because this is really holding them hostage, it's wrong. If you do a referendum, then you put it to rest. If they want to go, fine. If they want to stay, whether it is IPOP, whether it is Arewa, whether it is Odudua, whether it is South people, let everybody decide. It is already 110 years, or it's already 111 years since the amalgamation, where the Northern Protectorate and the Southern Protectorate were put together. Why are you still forcing people to stay together? I have always said it, and I'll continue to say, we need to have a Nigerian conversation. But by the way, has Kanu Nwankwo been vindicated? Now they have said APC and PDP are terrorist organizations, according to a Canadian court. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
I'm going to go back a little bit in history. But let me start from now. Al-Banawi, this is a news headline from this newspaper. Al-Banawi appointed ISIS West Africa Province Boko Haram leader, arrested the commanders loyal to Let Shakao. Are you following me now? The same Al-Banawi, the son of Muhammad Yusuf, the founder of Boko Haram, the person that Muhammad Buhari groomed personally to say, since your father is no more, you can take over Boko Haram. And Shekau said no, they will not relinquish power. Then, this happened in 2015. Are you listening to me? In 2015. Now, Al-Banawi was released from prison. Go back to the old preachings I made on this very boy. I met him at John Tozo's court in Abuja. He was released by the Chief Justice of the Federal High Court now, John Tozo, that they wanted to use to jail me, and I told the idiot, you cannot jail me, you're a fool. It was John Tozo, the present Chief Justice of the Federal High Court of Nigeria, that released this terrorist, this killer of ISIS. This is ISIS we're talking about, you know. I have their facts and figures. Now, the Islamic State, ISIS, West Africa province, under the new leadership of Abu Musad al-Banawi, has taken over all territories under the control of the late Abubakar Shekau in a major revenge onslaught against the former, because when he grew up, he became of age. Buhari pushed him to go and take over his father's mantle. Shekau said no. This was the revenge. And how was it possible that Shekau was ambushed? Because Shekau attended a peace meeting called by Ibrahim Atahiru, the dead chief of army staff. And what I'm giving you is facts. I don't have time for rubbish. We have the very, of course, maybe apart from Mossad, we have the very finest intelligence in the world. I'm telling you this, the M branch. How was it possible that Shekau was surrounded? Because they wanted the continuation of that very meeting. I told you this thing many years ago. They called a meeting, they sat together, and they said to Shekau, stop attacking mosques and Muslims. Go to the south, go to the east and take it. And Shekau said, no, we cannot take the east. I want to give you one expo this night I've never told you people before. I was very, very close to Boko Haram leadership. Are you aware of that? Very, very close to them. They told me a lot of things. They told me a lot of things. Boko Haram leadership told me, I won't tell the name of the person, told me in confidence, the person was being held at Ikoyi prison. I was in Kuje because I was instrumental in making sure that people who are not guilty are released from prison, regardless if you call them terrorists, Boko Haram or not. So they loved me very much. I'm being honest with you. They were very close to me, and they told me something. Shekau told Buhari, you cannot take the East. That the East cannot be taken. Buhari said, okay. When he was alive, Buhari now said, okay, if that is the case, I'm going to divide the organization. How do you think that Shekau knew that Buhari had died? That was why he called the idiot, the little boy that parading, Yusuf Abubakar Muhammad. He knows his name. Shekau knows Buhari is dead. Go and watch, I think it was his last video he made. They called for a peace meeting so they can plan on how they're going to push to the east to take the whole of Nigeria by next year. That was, I told you before, that was a timetable. That is why this slaughter is going on now in Niger State, in Benue State, and some parts of Kogi. They're entering Kogi. Maybe around October they'll be in Kogi. And by then, when I ask you to make reference to this broadcast, you say, oh, he said it. How many times did I tell you about Al-Banawi, the son of the late founder of Boko Haram? How many times did I tell you? Did I not tell you they were working with this Buhari government before Buhari died? If not, why would the government go and align with ISIS in order to defeat Boko Haram? You see what I'm saying about common sense? Common sense. You need to be able to reason. You know, in those days when you're small, if you're misbehaving, you have visitors in the house. Once your stupidity takes you into the living room and your mom looks at you, you will know. She will convey a message to you immediately. And you take out your useless self from the place. Your mother will look at you, only looking at you. You will know your mom wants you to go and bring a plate, or to go and wash your plate, or to go and have a shower, or to go and take something and eat. But she will not say anything. She will only look at you. You understand the message she's trying to convey. And that is why when your child is you say, "What I cry, my issue," you don't have to say anything. Do you remember when I told you that ISIS and Buhari regime, APC, that they are one? Did you believe me? You didn't. Of course, in this UG, you're black. How can you believe fact when you say it? If we had been able to reason properly, do you think Africa would be as poor as it is today? Of course not. It's because we cannot reason. I told you that they are part and parcel. They are in this game together. Buhari wants an attack on the east. He doesn't want the army to do it or the police to do it. He wants to use terrorists to do it. And ISIS was the perfect people to do this very job. I told you this many years ago. Do you know that today, surprise, surprise, Nigeria government is partnering with ISIS to defeat Boko Haram? I received message in the spirit. And when I want to preach it, something will tell me, I will say, why won't I preach it? After a while, it comes to pass. You will see the facts and evidence before you. How can any sensible government anywhere in the world partner with a terrorist group, the number one frontline terror group in the world, to defeat another terror group? Where has that ever been done before? That was what killed Ibrahim Atahiru. Are you aware of that? He was the one that masterminded it because he was a failure in Borno when he went to fight Shekau. Shekau defeated him. So he was very desperate to redeem his name. So he went to ISIS and gave ISIS a deal. We're not going to attack you. That is why they call them, they changed their name from terrorists to bandits. So ISIS can do whatever they like. No police will arrest them. No army will arrest them. No bombardment. Sheikh Gumi can go and negotiate with them. Nothing will happen to them. The key was to make them numerically stronger than Boko Haram, to make them the acceptable face of Islam, Fulani Islamic terrorism. And he succeeded. I know that Shekau was injured. He wasn't killed. He was injured. That's why they cannot display his body. He was injured. He was not killed. But I'm coming to that in a minute. The gospel from heaven. That's what I'm giving you. And they know, in Asrock now, they're shaking. Oh, how did he know? He has come again. I thought he was no longer going to broadcast. I know all these things. There is nothing we don't know. We know everything. That is why we managed to defeat Mietiala. With the little meager resources, we defeated them because we know what they do not know. If I want all the governors dead in one night, they will all be dead. But I don't want them dead. At least not yet. Now listen. Do you know that Ibrahim Atahiru wanted to capture Shekau alive? Are you aware of that? So you can interrogate him and ask him, how come you're getting all this support? Because they know he's in Sambisa forest. Nigeria army has enough men and equipment to circle Sambisa forest and to engage from all sides. But most of the people in the military hierarchy of the zoo, they are Boko Haram sympathizers, almost all of them. Another lesson for the Fulefus and the intellectual brigade to learn from, because the Fulanis don't kill their own. Never. They understand that these are the foot soldiers we need in the future to fight this very war to dip the Quran in the Atlantic. Buhari knew that very, very clearly. That was why Buhari was so disappointed with Shekau, that when they swore him as the president, Shekau continued, he didn't stop. That was Buhari's major disappointment with Boko Haram. They were his babies now. Who doesn't know that? And Ibrahim Atahiru, that died a few days ago, took billions upon billions of dollars to ISIS, to al-Banawi, and said to him, Abu Musa al-Banawi, take this very money, make it possible. I am going to strengthen you. You're going to be the face of Fulani terrorism in Nigeria. And he accepted it. And now they called Shekau to a meeting. At that very meeting, Shekau was attacked. That was what happened. And in revenge for the attack on Shekau, they brought down the plane. Because 2 people parachuted from that very plane before it crashed. They opened the door to decompress it. It's called decompression. That's that thing they tell you in the plane. When, in case of cabin pressure, loss of cabin pressure, pull this mask and put it on your face, you get oxygen. You remember that drill they give you every time you fly? These 2 assassins were in the aircraft and they jumped with a parachute. They're in the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Air Force. These are the same people that they are putting, Boko Haram, they painted Boko Haram in the army. They are the ones that killed him for attempting to sabotage Shekau. And their new commander now is very, very mean. I'm telling you, even deadlier than Shekau. The new guy is, oh my word, very mean. And they now have war on their hands. I'm telling you. Do you know that the Nigerian army, do you know that Ibrahim Atahiru confessed that the Nigerian army doesn't have the strength to fight Boko Haram? That was why he brought in ISIS to do the job for him. Are you aware of that? That was why, so that there can be a leadership tussle. You know that thing they try to do with IPOB? You know, Anybody we sack or expel, they bring him, he's IPOB after 1 month, he just died natural death, of course. Because Elohim is in charge of everything we're doing. You know that the ISIS leadership and Boko Haram, they've been fighting the supremacy war. I've been telling you about this for very many years. Who will take over? And finally, they have tried to do what they can to silence Shekau because Buhari was not happy before he died. And all this Fulani Caliphate, including the Sultan, nobody's happy. They want Shekau to face the East. Their problem is to take the East. When Shekau said no, Buhari, before he died, they told him about Ruga. He wants Ruga. Fulani settlement in every community, in every local government across Nigeria. When we said no, he said, okay. He now asked Mietiala to take over. That was why Mietiala was killing people. Now they know that Mietiala can no longer do the job. They now contracted ISIS to do it. That's your one Nigeria for you. Obasanjo, are you listening? One Nigerianist. Didn't. Let me tell you something. Boko Haram will not stop. And the fear of the Nigerian army is that they cannot fight this war on two fronts. So it is better for them to get ISIS to do the job, ISIS that they can trust and rely upon to be doing the killing, the terrorism, sacking villages in TV land, taking over, Nupe land, doing all of these things. That's what they prefer. And then they can now move the Nigerian army to come to the east to meet us. That was their plan, that's their game plan. They wanted to do this deal with Chad. Unfortunately, Idris Dabi died. That was the deal. Let the Chadian and the Niger troops come in to help them to stabilize the north, while the main bulk of the Nigerian army will march with their tanks to the east. That's their game plan. The whole thing has fallen apart because there is no Buhari anymore. And ISIS is now in charge of your lives. Boko Haram may pity you a little bit. Oh. ISIS, they have no pity whatsoever. No pity whatsoever. They can bring in as many armored cars as they like. Only one landmine will destroy it, disable it, to park by the roadside. Do you understand me? This is 2021, not 1967. They must understand this, that we are going. It doesn't matter. What are they going to do? Nothing. The same way we defeated Mietiala terrorist group and they brought in the army and police, we are going to defeat them. After that, they'll start bombing us from the air. Then after that, they will give up. For you to be free, you need to be stubborn to a fault. And I want to show Fulani Janjaweedism what stubbornness is all about. They're not stubborn. I want to prove it to them. Their children will talk about us. Fulani kids, in years to come, they will sing folklore with our names. They will say they never knew that such people existed. If you think that by putting the lives of people, them and we care Dave Umahi in political office that is going to deter us, you are dreaming. We are unstoppable. That's why I said, before we came, there was nothing like us. Now we are here. Nobody can attempt half of what we're doing. And when we are gone, you will pray and cry that we live forever. I'm telling you. They don't know what's... You don't know what is going to hit you. They have no idea. Anybody telling me that Nigeria will survive in this present format, I'm telling you, I can bet you anything in the world. I will bet money against you that the zoo will fall. It's only coronavirus that saved them. Only coronavirus is still holding them. Very, very soon. That is the reason why APC political leaders in Yoruba land met together and said, we support the position of the southern governors to ban open grazing and movement of cattle by land. Tinubu, Gbajabiamila, Sanwo-Olu, and other Southwest APC leaders support Southern governors' ban on open grazing, condemn separate. Of course, that is given. Everybody's making money, but I want to condemn it. Why would you condemn it? You see a very ugly old man with pot belly, spilling over even his knees. He cannot get up in the morning. He can get up one day and go and marry or decide to marry an 18-year-old fresh graduate because of hardship, because there's no electricity. The economy cannot grow. I want to tell you something. You see, those of you who are in the West, ask anybody who is in Europe or somewhere in North America. Before you get a woman, you have to buy flour, you have to buy chocolate, you have to talk, convince, you have to look decent and presentable. But in poverty-stricken Africa, all you need to do is to have money. Because a girl needs to do her hair, she needs to buy makeup, she needs to do this, she needs to change her underwear and all the rest of it. So she needs money. Regardless, there must be money. Money must change hands, whether you like it or not. Because there are no jobs to go to. They become very desperate. Do you know when I discovered this very thing? It was as far back as 2005. I kept researching one day I kept asking myself, why is there no electricity, constant supply of electricity? It then dawned on me that the Fulanese did it that way deliberately in order to make life very, very cheap. Do you know that if you supply electricity 24 hours a day, people will not give a damn about the government. People will be creative enough to make something for themselves. Now they had to impoverish everybody. That is why I hate Obasanjo when he's doing preaching. It is his sanctimonious rubbish. Obasanjo destroyed the stockfish market in Aba, destroyed the Okreka market second-hand clothing. Obasanjo destroyed the glass factory in Aba. By a stroke of the pen, Obasanjo you're looking at, a very evil man. Evil man, I'm telling you, evil upon evil. Ask Obasanjo who stopped second-hand clothing market in Aba. Ask Obasanjo. It's a very simple question. He will tell you it's him that stopped it. Now, Tinubu, all the APC people from Yoruba land, they met together and said, we support the southern governors, what they have done by banning movement of cattle on foot from place to place. Is that not correct? Yes, it is. Wait for it. Today, 24th of May, a statement was issued by Asarok. Not by Buhari himself, but by his Garabashiru. And Buhari is alive inside Asarok. 17 governors met from the south, something of national importance. He could not address any of you. Once again, Garabashiru. And you're telling me that Buhari is alive. Garba Shehu, presidential spokesman, in a statement recalled Buhari approving measures. What they're trying to say is that Buhari is not happy. Buhari moves against killer headsmen, says open grazing ban illegal. Buhari, a president of Nigeria in a democratic dispensation, is telling you that banning open grazing is illegal because they rely on their cattle to do the men attack for them. That is their justification for entering into your farm. For them to come into your land, they need the cattle. To say, oh, we are grazing. Do you understand their trick? That is why, by all means, by every means, they need their cattle with them at all times. Do you know that somebody who calls himself a president is saying open grazing ban is illegal? I want to prove to the whole world tonight that your average Fulani Janjaweed is a bundle of idiocy. I also want to prove to the world tonight that Nigeria doesn't have educated people. You see, there's a senior advocate talking rubbish. All of them, none of them is educated enough to understand what it means to adhere to the rule of law. You know, when you hear Malami, when you hear Garabashe, rule of law, they don't know the meaning of it. Do you know that the justices you have in Nigeria, the senior advocates in Nigeria, they don't even know the meaning of the rule of law because it's in English. It's an English phrase. Because they are not English people, because they are not versed in the nuances of English language, they don't know what it means. I'm telling you, if you like, go to your professor of law tomorrow and say to professor of law, tomorrow in any university in Nigeria, what is the meaning of the rule of law? He doesn't know what it means. But this night I'm going to teach you for free. So tomorrow when you go to your lecture hall, you'll be able to pose in front of the others about what rule of law means. I now want to tell you that this present regime, this present terrorist bandit regime you have in Asorok, Fulani Caliphate, Cabal, they don't know the meaning of the rule of law because they are all quota graduates. They're not educated people. Why do I say what I'm saying? Rule of law means, what does rule of law mean? It means following a precedent by law. That is why anywhere you go in the world, if you have a case, that is why they said, Akledolu versus Ondo State, or Ondo State versus water resources, or Brown versus white. Why do you think when you get to court, maybe your lawyer is preparing a brief, they cite all these cases, is to let the judge understand that this case has come before a court before, and this was the determination. And given that this determination was reached in the past, I expect you to follow the rule of law and reach the same determination because both cases are the same. Precedent in law, rule of law. I'm now trying to teach you something they will never teach you in your university because you're in a zoo. It is called precedent. Not president, precedent. P-R-E-C-E-D-E-N-T. Precedent in law. That is the meaning of the rule of law, where law holds supreme. Not the dictates of man, but law itself. What do I mean by that? Let us go to Cornell Law School. People are learned, not zoo schools. To understand what precedent means, before I now tell you why the entire Fulani presidency is a bloody joke because they are ill-educated. I want to prove to the world that Nigerians are not educated. And forget her son, he's an advocate, a PhD. These are a bunch of idiots. They know nothing. Precedent refers to a court decision that is considered as authority for deciding subsequent cases involving identical or similar facts or similar legal issues. Precedent is incorporated into the doctrine of stare decisis and requires courts to apply the law in the same manner to every case with the same facts. It means anytime you steal my goat and somebody is found guilty of that, stealing of my goat, anytime somebody else's goat is stolen, my case will be referred, cited as Nnamdi Kanu versus goat stealer. Do you understand? To let the judge understand that similar thing happened in the past, and this was the decision reached by this honorable judge or right honorable judge. I therefore ask you to adopt the decision of that very court. Simple. Law is very good. I must tell you this. I don't even know why I didn't study law anymore. My goodness. Do you know that this very precedent is elementary law in every school all over the world? Even the lawyers in Nigeria, they practice it, but they don't know the meaning of it. Why am I saying what I'm saying? You have somebody called the Attorney General of the Federation who should have guided whoever they are calling Buhari not to make such a stupid utterance that open grazing is ban on open grazing is illegal, because it is not. It is a law. It is a precedent law. Precedent, not president. Precedent law, P-R-E-C-E-D-E-N-T. Because a man called Justice Adewale Thompson banned open grazing on the 17th of April, 1969, and warned of unprovoked killings by Fulani headsmen in 1969 at the height of the war of Biafra, or war against Biafra. A precedent law was made by Honorable Justice Adewale Thompson. He banned open grazing in Nigeria. According to the doctrine of stare decisis, it means that anytime you have a case involving Fulani headsmen and anybody, the pronouncement of Honorable Justice Adewale Thompson must hold sway. That is the meaning of the rule of law. People need to pay me. People are going to pay. Because what I'm teaching you, you can never learn in any zoo school, forever and ever. It is called stare decisis. It means, I will spell it for you. S-T-A-R-E is Latin. S-T-A-R-E-D-E-C-I-S-I-S. Stare decisis. My goodness. It is called, it promotes the even-handed, predictable, and consistent development of legal principles. It fosters reliance on judicial decisions and contributes to the actual and perceived integrity of the judicial process. Therefore, if Thompson in 1969 can ban open grazing, any other judge overturning it goes contrary to this very rule. You are not maintaining judicial consistency. Are you going to pay me enough for this? I'm preaching the gospel of heaven. Now you understand from your AGF, AGM, TTM, all of them are useless. They don't even understand law. Their own laws, they don't know. Their own laws, because if you are a student of law, there is something called precedent. Every court decision is considered as authority for deciding every similar case. Since Adewale Thompson has said it in 1969, it must, as long as Nigeria remains one, practices the same legal system. What Adewale Thompson said in 1969 is the law of the land. There is no open grazing in Nigeria. Fulani people have been disobeying the law since 1969. And these are the people you want to be in the same country with? These are the same people you want to be in the same country with. Is that what you're telling me? Of course not. Absolutely not. And we're not going to have it. They don't even know the law that they when you go to school, go to ABU, about the university, you come out with the lowest score and you become the Attorney General of the Federation. I mean, no one can blame you. No one can blame you. And why are they doing this to us? You may ask yourselves, why are they doing this to us? Because they hate us. But that is a program for another day. I am going to preach it. Maybe in the next 2 days, I'll preach it. But this evening, I don't want to overburden you with too many facts and figures. I don't want to overburden you with too many, should I say, theories and as to how things are supposed to work. Let me tell you how Biafra will be different. You see, in Biafra, oh dear me, everybody from nursery school will